So I'm on the BJJ Fanatics website, and I see 3 new videos by some guy named Thomas Radzinski. You familiar with that guy at all?
Nope, absolutely not.
No? Well, he's got some good stuff. 3 brand new videos. They're getting amazing reviews, which is good to see as well. But you got to tell us about them real quick?
Yeah, I had, you guys already know, but I had opportunity to go to Boston, shoot 3 more instructionals, 1 on butterfly hook, complete guide for butterfly hook, 2 wrap, lapel, and submit them, and 3 we have taking the back. It's particularly designed for guys for over 40 because there's no climbing involved. All the back takes are on the ground. Very, very full and effective system. So dip into it. I'm really hoping that this is going to help your jiu-jitsu and really take it to the next level.
BJJfanatics.com. Just search ROZDZ. We have all had that situation where after class is when we want to ask a question. And Thomas, a lot of those questions you've already answered, right, at Ask a Black Belt.
Yeah, it's another podcast that I'm running. It's on podcast, all podcast platforms, plus on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. Just search for my name. Search for Ask a Black Belt. At this point, over 100 episodes, different questions, jiu-jitsu, life-related, but something that everybody comes across, and often these questions sink in our mind, but we don't ask for whatever reason. So if that benefits you, go there, listen. It actually might help your jiu-jitsu, might help your life as well. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram and drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your question and mention your name during the episode.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
We are laughing at this because this was one of the funnier episodes, one of the funnier conversations that we had.
No, he's a good guy, man. He's super entertaining, and funny, fun, positive. He's a great guy. So one of my favorite people that we've had on so far.
Yeah, it definitely was. It's so, like I was listening to it last night, editing it for YouTube, and one of the interesting things that really caught my ear or eye, point of reflection was the fact that not only the episode had golden nuggets, like from a philosophy perspective, like jiu-jitsu. What am I trying to say here?
Philosophy.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu philosophy. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to use a different word, but like jiu-jitsu philosophy or jiu-jitsu life or things off the mat about jiu-jitsu lifestyle. But also, it was entertaining. Like he's a funny, funny freaking guy.
If you don't follow him,
you should. Chokes and more.
Yeah, he's funny, but he's also, he can turn it on and off. He knows jiu-jitsu. It's not like he's just a comedian out there doing silly stuff. His presentation is fun. And I think that's what sets him apart from everybody else as far as like social media stuff goes. But I was thinking that, and I wrote down Infectious. I don't know if that's what we're really talking about, but to me, his attitude, his delivery, his personality brings everybody with him in that same direction. I doubt very highly if you walk into his class in a bad mood, you walk out of his class in a bad mood. I bet even if you got smashed and it wasn't your day on the mats, I bet you walk out with a smile on your face, laughing about something. And he takes it seriously. He's not, from what I gather, he's not the internet personality on the mat, but just his regular personality is so infectious that I bet he can elevate your mood. No matter what the situation is. And I love that about him. And I think it's good for the sport. And I think it's good for the community, especially.
Well, and wouldn't you agree that that's what makes good instructor, in a sense of is not only the information or the ability to teach, but also keeping it engaging. And humor is one of the avenues to make it engaging for the students, right? I mean, no matter how I don't know if you've ever been in a position where you're trying to learn something where it's so freaking boring. It's like pulling teeth, and no matter how interesting it is, you just freaking can't stand through it, right? So like the humor and well, the entertainment factor, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it has to be there, right?
It does, and I think that so yes, for a class structure, for the way he teaches and what you get out of it. Yeah, I think that's all accurate. But I'm even talking about more so like you don't even need to learn the technique that day. He's so infectious. It's like work sucked today. I got into a fight with my wife. My kids screwing up in school, and we all go to class to kind of get away from all of that. But sometimes you can't. I think that who he is as a person will make you get away from that. Even if he's not teaching, if you just pass him across the mat, on your way to class and he's leaving.
You get double barrels from
yeah. But it is it's one of those, like, we've interviewed a lot of people that we see on social media. We see their videos and we see their instructionals, and then we talk to them and they're not the same person, or they turn. So they flip a switch when they know we're recording, and they could either go from they're usually a goofball to now, oh, somebody's listening, I have to be serious, or the other way. And I think that he is one of those people that doesn't he knows when to be a certain way. I mean, because I asked him, like, when you're rolling, in his videos, he always gives, the person taps and he gives it, one more little, and I said, do you roll like that? And he was like, no, I would never do that. Somebody taps, it's over. So, I mean, he has a switch too, but I don't think that it's as drastic as most people. I think that what you see is what you get with him, and what you get is, a positive attitude, a uplifting person who's been through a lot in his own life, and I think maybe because he's come out the other side of it.
Would you find that he's one of the definition points of jiu-jitsu changes lives?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This cliche really comes up quite frequently, as we keep talking about it. Jiu-jitsu changes lives, and I think in some ways, anybody who makes to the black belt, their life has changed just by definition of doing something for so long.
Well, I mean, he is. His content started coming out while he was still a brown belt, which I found surprising. Like, I didn't even look at his what rank he was when I first started following Choke Some More. It was just like, here he is, and you assume that the dude's a black belt. And then when I found out he was a brown belt, I was like, I was talking to somebody about a video. I don't remember what it was, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that dude's a brown belt." And I was like, "No, he's not. Is he? No." Like, I couldn't believe it. And,
but that speaks volume to actually what he does, right? So, like, if the color of the belt is a secondary thing because of what is being presented, that speaks volume to the quality of the presentation too.
Yes.
Like that, and I think that's also an interesting conversation, is in the fact that you don't have to be a black belt to really make an impact on others. You don't have to be the boss, or you don't have to be the in a pack in the beginning of the pack in order for you to be a leader. You can impact from the middle, you can impact from the end, you can really make an impact on your community regardless where you are. And I think that part a lot of people underestimate too.
Yeah, I don't remember. I've heard more than one person say this, and it's made an impact on people here even. Is if I walk, a black belt can say, if I walk into a room full of white belts, I can still learn something.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful attitude to have. And getting back to, like, jiu-jitsu saves lives and that, or changes lives, that cliche, which I think we did a takeaway about not too long ago. I think anything you find that you're really passionate about can help you change your life. Miko, it happened to be jiu-jitsu. He wrestled as a kid. When he was back on the mats as an adult, he was like, "Oh, I'm home again." And he found this passion in it, and it seems like giving it back, sharing that passion with him or with others, is super important for him. And that is part of that whole thing that I was talking about earlier, where it's like he's taking you along just by being who he is, right? He's not forcing you to follow him. It's just his personality, his presentation. Seemingly, I always put a caveat in there. We only know him through the podcast, right, and social media. But seemingly he is a person that people want to follow because of who he is. And he becomes a natural leader because of it, right? People want to follow him, so he is leading. And there's other people who want to lead, and maybe don't know how to do it. And it seems like it comes very, very natural for him.
Well, and the true leaders, first of all, we did the takeaway on Jiu-Jitsu Changes Lives. This was with Sean Applegate, and it's in August. So you can go back and listen to that. But, a true leader is somebody not who has a place of authority or not somebody who has a decision-making power, but somebody who influences people to follow them and regardless of what the situation is. And true leaders don't do it with the intent of having a follower. A true leader does it for the purpose that they believe in, and people follow that purpose, and so it happens. And you forget about jiu-jitsu. You look at this historically. I mean, that's whether good or bad. There are some personalities in the history of world that had a very bad goals and very bad intentions, but they're following.
Yeah. But we've talked about this before. But I feel like that following is forced. You're going to follow me or else. I'm talking about the people that are like, I'm going to follow him because of what?
Well, but
because he's leading by example.
But that's what I'm saying is, in this case, it is not because he wants to have the 270,000. And I like how he corrected me.
Correct you. Right away.
It's 8,000 a day. But it's it's not because he wants to have a following. It's because he believes in what he does, and that impact is important. So, but then often that conversation often comes up with students, like I think some people really want to be popular, especially with today's social media world, and everybody wants to have 1 million followers and all the other stuff. And, some people even look at it, monetary benefits of all of this, but not everybody does it with the true purpose of really making an impact. And if you look deeper into some of the guys who do have following, like Chewy comes to mind. I mean, we've had him on a podcast, and he does it because he loves it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to argue that.
No, there is no argument there. I think it's obvious, and I think we're going in a circle.
In circles now, yeah, I get it.
It is obvious that his passion is what
irradiates.
Yeah,
it's very visible.
Yes, absolutely. And then when you throw everything else into the mix, it makes it entertaining. His passion is the real driving force.
Yes,
all the other stuff is entertainment and fun, and you go along with it. He and anybody else who's a leader like that just makes. I'm going back to this again. It just makes our community so much better because there's guys out there that are maybe just as passionate, but they're just as passionate about their jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
not just as passionate about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
and I think there's a distinction there where he has become. He's passionate about teaching, sharing. And making sure that everybody else is there for the right reasons and having fun and enjoying themselves. There's a time for work. There's a time when it's going to suck, and you got to work through those times. But if you keep those attitudes, the attitudes that he has, I think that it's easier to get through all that stuff.
Yeah, and I mentioned Chewy. He was episode 132, so feel free to go back and listen to that. But another one that came to my mind is Malky, and he was just recent episode 166. And another personality that brings that passion. You know what I mean? So, listen,
it's funny because like now I'm gonna start scrolling through, and I'm thinking of other people that like that have that same passion, but don't. But they're super analytical about it. Where these other like Maliki and Miko, maybe it's something about the names. They are very technical, but the way that they share information is more outgoing, more gregarious, more it's fun, it's inviting, it's less I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but it's less intellectual. The technique is still there. It's still there. The fundamentals are still there. Everything is just as pathed out, but it's not an intellectual look at it.
Do you think maybe this is just the difference of the outlet or the medium that they present their passion? So like if okay, I'm gonna make one of my Thomas stupid analogies, but like an artist is not necessarily a painter. An artist
Sure.
could be a singer, or also artist could be a writer,
Mhm.
right? An artist could be a songwriter, and his song gets presented in a concert, but you don't even know who wrote the song,
Sure.
right? So is it possible that some of these guys are more, their passion radiates through the technique and ability to analyze and break the techniques down, versus others is more of the entertainment factor, where they make the technique very quick, there's no explanation behind it, but it's very entertaining, it's very clicky, it's very Instagram like, you know what I mean? And then you'll find other, because like we can't take it away from John Danaher. I mean, the passion the guy has is enormous,
yeah.
but you don't see him doing Instagram reels.
No.
Right,
He cannot keep it to 1 minute.
No. Right, I mean, right, I mean, his passion comes out in a 7-hour breakdown
Mhm.
of individual system.
Yes.
So is it possible that us as humans, we just vary based on what our outlet is, and that's how we present the
Well, sure. I think if Danaher tried to present like Miko, it would be ridiculous.
First of all, I just had a visual of John Danaher doing double barrels, but
And hey, listen, we don't obviously.
we don't know John, so
He
we
could
don't
be
know him
hilarious.
personally, right?
He
So we
could
don't.
be-
I hear he's a great guy. I know several guys who have
we're-
interacted with personally.
What
So
we're saying here doesn't mean it's not a slam in any way about anybody. It's just different. It's a different teaching style. It's a different learning style. Different people go to different things. Look, when you watch an Instagram reel by Miko, he does the technique 3 times, right? And then you get the double barrels, and it's over.
And it's over, yeah.
So if you don't know what's leading up to that technique, I mean, you could say, "Hey, let me try this," and get in that position and do it. But you're not going to be able to do it in a roll.
But that's not the purpose, right?
Right.
That's not the purpose.
That's what I'm saying.
Right,
That's not
exactly.
the purpose. So you go to him, you follow him for a different reason.
Right.
But what I do love about him, and I realized it during our conversation, is his jujitsu is solid. His fundamentals are solid. He teaches that way.
Yeah.
Right. So he lives like in these different worlds where one is fundamentals, positional training. This is what you need to do. This is your start.
Yep.
We can add to it. We're going to layer, right? We're going to build a house on top of that foundation. And then the Instagram is the quick, fun, stuff, the funny stuff. And I think he's one of those people that can bridge that very easily because of his personality. If somebody else tried to do it, it would be ridiculous. You'd be like, this guy's a phony. He's corny.
Yeah.
It's not, it's he should be teaching a different way, or his social media should be a different
right.
And
excuse me, I coughed in the microphone, but that's what I think. Also, that's what makes jiu-jitsu beautiful. Like we have different personalities, and obviously we all different humans, and we process information differently. And oftentimes we talk about this. If you got 50 black belts in that room and ask them to teach the same technique, likely you would have 50 different versions. Right. So if you take this even deeper, when it comes to philosophy or just approach to jiu-jitsu or entertainment factor, like we all make different jokes and different things are funny to us. How many times I'm teaching a class and I say a joke and nobody laughs about it, because it's not because I'm not funny, because I'm really funny. It's that everybody else in the room has a different sense of humor, like I know that. That rainbow of personalities, that diversity of who we are and what we do is really creating this very active community in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think all of them are different,
Sure.
between different academies, right? And this is, this is why I love it. This is why I love jiu-jitsu, because it's no matter where you are, and obviously he's in Spain, so that's a different country culturally, right? So, but yet, the guy from Spain, think about this for a moment. A guy from Spain makes an impact on 270,000 people around the world. I mean, that is mind-blowing.
More than that, because there's people that don't follow that see it every day.
True.
Right?
True. Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure it's millions. I'm sure it's millions, but I'm talking. Yeah. You're right. You're right. It's millions. Right. So,
mute your computer.
Yes, it's my computer. Yeah. My alert for next meeting showed up.
Oh.
Yeah, there it is.
All right. So, check out Miko. You're gonna enjoy it, even if you find him silly. He's silly for a purpose, and his technique is there too. So go a little bit deeper and check it out.
Hey, listen, if you guys are listening to this as we're wrapping this up, if you know anybody who would love to be on the show, or somebody you would love to hear from, somebody who inspires you, somebody who you follow perhaps, and somebody that you would love for us to have a conversation with, drop me a line, or both of us, or drop an e-message on our website, therawradio.com, or find me on Instagram and drop me a message, and we'll make it happen. This show is we all about great stories.
Cool. All right.
Let's wrap it up.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.